RacinFreeks Sim Racing, brought to you by Stock Car Racing Experience at Pocono Raceway. The first race of round 2 would kick off with the 32 of Zach Hall on the pole at Atlanta Motor Speedway. On lap 23, with Nick Crawford leading, Cedric Hunter would take the lead from him and look to build on his lead. On lap 31, we will see our first caution of the day as drivers were making green flag pit stops. This caution would damage many chase drivers in round 2. On lap 67, Cedric Hunter would come to pit road with a huge lead over the rest of the field. But he would make a vital mistake, spinning the car, hitting the inside of the pit wall. Having run out of fuel, come down pit road, he would have to tow his car and ruin his chances at a win. With only 10 laps to go, the lead would be in the hands of Billy McKay as he would try to stretch his fuel and make it all the way to win his first race of the season. But with 3 laps to go, Nick Crawford, who had saved enough fuel, would catch Billy McKay and take the lead and never look back. Nick Crawford would win at Atlanta and lock himself into the Final Four at the championship race at Las Vegas at the end of the season. The second race of round 2 would kick off at Texas Motor Speedway with Chris Gutierrez on the pole. On lap 16, Brian Johnson would take the lead from Chris Gutierrez. As he started 6th place, he would show he had the dominant car for the race. On lap 52, we would see our first caution of the race as Chris Gutierrez would spin coming into turn 3. We would restart the race with Brian Johnson still leading. With 22 laps to go, Brian Johnson would pit from the lead. Brian Johnson would come out in front of Cedric Hunter, who had pit a lap earlier, giving him a vital spot to chase down Mark Whitley. With 11 laps to go, the 28 car, Brian Johnson, would take the lead from Mark Whitley and look to build his lead as he would set sail. Brian Johnson would go on to win his first race of the season. third race of round 2 would kick off at Phoenix International Raceway with Zach Hall on the pole. As we would see all night, the restarts would be very wild as Mark Whitley would take the lead from Zach Hall on lap 1, entering turn 1 on the outside. First caution of the night would come out on lap 4 with a spinning car in turn 4. On the next restart, Zach Hall would jump the restart and get the black flag, as the caution would come out immediately, entering turn 1 with a wreck. With Hall having to serve a pass-through penalty, he would duck off the pit road. But as soon as he did, the caution would come out for a spinner in turn 4. The theme of the night would be wild restarts, as that would continue through the next restart also. On the very next lap after the restart, Cedric Hunter would spin coming out of turn 4, bringing out the caution. On the next restart, leader Brian Johnson would spin coming out of turn 1, bringing out the 4th caution of the night. Our 5th caution of the night on lap 51 with another spin coming out of turn 4. We will restart with less than half the race left, with Zach Hall leading the field to the green. The very next lap, Brandon Mullen would take the lead on the inside, passing Zach Hall. But with 40 to go, we'd see our 6th caution of the night with another spin coming out of turn 4. On the next restart, we would get one of our longer runs of the race, as Brandon Mullen would control this run. But on lap 84, Zach Hall would look to pass him on the inside in turn 3. But Brandon Mullen would prove to be too strong, as he would hold off Zach Hall for the lead. We'd see our 7th and final caution of the night with 9 laps to go, as another spinner coming out of turn 4. With the most green flag laps on their tires all night, Brandon Mullen would bring the field down pit road, but some drivers would play the strategy card and stay out, as 3 lead lap drivers would stay out. With Cedric Hunter leading the field to the green, this would be our wildest restart of the whole night, as the field would be separated from old tires and new tires. But the strategy would play out to be the most important decision of the race, as Cedric Hunter would go on the win, as a caution would fly immediately coming out of turn 2, ending the race under caution. This win would lock Cedric Hunter into the Final Four at the championship race at Las Vegas. The fourth race of round 2 would kick off at Homestead Miami Speedway with Bob Skinner on the pole. Cedric Hunter would take the lead from Bob Skinner, looking to dominate this race. With Cedric Hunter dominating the race, other drivers would decide to roll the dice and use pit strategy to try to beat him, as Mark Whitley would pit with lap 64 to try to stretch the fuel and short pit on tires to get the lead from Cedric. Mark Whitley would hold the lead all the way to lap 97, but Cedric Hunter would prove to be too strong as he would have fresher tires and not have to worry about fuel. He would take the lead from Mark Whitley. With one lap to go, Mark Whitley would run out of fuel on the back straightaway and have to coast all the way around the track and end up finishing 7th position. As Cedric Hunter would go on to win at Homestead in a dominant fashion. The 5th race in round 2 to decide the final spot in the championship Final Four would be at Talladega Motor Speedway, with Mark Whitley starting on the pole. "51 laps later into the race, pit strategy would separate most of the field as Robert Moyer Jr. would be leading and looking to lock himself into the Final Four. But coming out of turn 2, his car would suddenly explode and cause a huge wreck coming out of turn 2, collecting fellow chase driver Bob Skinner. Now with the field all packed up again, we would see some wild racing at Talladega Motor Speedway. The second caution of the race would come out on lap 60 with a huge wreck in turn 3 and 4. With only 5 laps to go, Brandon Mullen will lead the field to green, trying to lock himself into the Final Four at Las Vegas and also win his first race of the season. Brandon Mullen would pull it off and win his first race of the season, locking him into the Final Four at Las Vegas next week for the championship.